Viktor Orban has criticised the upcoming European summit scheduled for March 6, 2025, which will focus on increasing Europe's defence capabilities and supporting Ukraine. According to sources from Bloomberg, one of the key topics of discussion will be selecting a European representative for future peace negotiations aimed at ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. Orban's letter to President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, who is organising the summit, was leaked to the media. In the letter, Orban threatens to block the joint statement at the end of the summit and proposes a new EU strategy based on a UN Security Council resolution, which refers to the war as a conflict and omits Russia as an aggressor.
I am convinced that the European Union, following the example of the United States, should enter into direct discussions with Russia on a ceasefire and sustainable peace in Ukraine. Therefore, I propose not to attempt adopting written conclusions on Ukraine at the Special European Council. Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, in a letter to the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa.
Orban also expressed support for the President of US Donald Trump after his public disagreement with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the White House. Orban, a longtime supporter of Trump, supported him during the presidential race and travelled for talks with him as part of the so-called peacekeeping tour in July 2024. He justifies the US president's attacks on Volodymyr Zelensky with an alleged desire for peace.
Strong men make peace, weak men make war. Today, President Donald Trump stood bravely for peace. Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, on X social network.
Despite Orban's stance, most European leaders, including the presidents of the European Council and European Parliament, the EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs, as well as the leaders of Finland, Austria, Portugal, Luxembourg, and Canada, expressed strong support for Ukraine and President Zelensky.
Dear Volodymyr Zelensky, dear Ukrainian friends, you are not alone. Donald Tusk, the Prime Minister of Poland.
The truth is simple. Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia is the aggressor. Ukraine defends its freedom and ours. We stand with Ukraine. Maya Sandu, the President of Moldova.
There is an aggressor, Russia. There is a victim, Ukraine. We were right to help Ukraine and sanction Russia 3 years ago, and to keep doing so. Emmanuel Macron, the President of France.
Your dignity honors the bravery of the Ukrainian people. Be strong, be brave, be fearless. You will never be alone, dear President Zelensky. We will continue to work with you for a just and sustainable peace. Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the European Commission.
Orban's so-called peacemaking is not so much due to the need to end the war, but rather to the desire to lift sanctions and restore trade relations with Russia. According to Orban, in this case, Hungary will be able to stop the economic decline and significantly improve its situation.
Considering the economy, with the sanctions and the war sanctions, Hungary lost 6.7 billion euros per year, which was around 20 billion euros altogether. This is a huge amount of money, so if the President of the US comes and creates peace, there is a deal. I think Russia will be reintegrated into the world economy, will be reintegrated into the European security system and even the European economic and energy system. That will give a huge boost to the Hungarian economy. It is a huge opportunity. We will win a lot with a peace deal.
Orban's views have been sharply criticised by Hungary's opposition. Peter Magyar, president of the largest opposition party, TISA, believes that the country's economic difficulties are caused by Orban's corruption and constant conflicts with Brussels. According to Magyar, closer integration with the EU's institutions is the solution to Hungary's problems.
One of the most important tasks of the TISA government will be to address the staggering cost of living crisis caused by the Orban government and the increasingly severe demographic catastrophe. Every decision will be taken with these challenges in mind. It is clear that the propaganda of success is leaked. They don't have solutions for the problems that they have created. The aging and tired Orban expects the solution from Beijing, Washington, and Moscow.
Magyar also criticised Orban's support for Trump following the latter's confrontation with Zelensky. He argued that the Hungarian people are not striving to become the world's first Russian-American colony. Opposition leaders from the Democratic Coalition, Dialogue for Hungary, and Momentum Movement also voiced their disapproval of Orban's alignment with Trump, reported by Andriy Dmitrenko, UATV News.
On the third anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, 13 leaders from the Baltic and Nordic states, Spain, Canada and top EU officials arrived in Kyiv to attend the Support Ukraine Forum. 24 other foreign leaders joined them via video call, including representatives from the United Kingdom, Italy, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Poland, Moldova, Turkey, Japan and other countries.
February 24th, 2025, 3 years after the start of Putin's so-called three-day special military operation, Ukraine is still standing, still fighting, and has more friends in the world than ever before. Our red lines are well known. We will never recognize the illegal annexation of any part of Ukraine. These will always remain our territories, even if they are temporarily occupied. We will never agree to a reduction of our armed forces. That is why Ukraine needs the support of EU leaders and every individual country.
During the forum, state leaders announced new aid packages for Ukraine, including military assistance. Denmark pledged nearly 270 million euros, Spain 1 billion euros, Norway 3.5 billion euros, and the UK more than 5 billion euros. Additionally, the European Union plans to allocate 3.5 billion euros as announced by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen.
I will present a comprehensive plan on how to scale up our European arms production and defense capabilities, and Ukraine will also benefit. No one wants peace more than the people of Ukraine, but there is only one path to the just and lasting peace they are longing for, and this runs through military and financial strength for Ukraine. That is why we are strengthening your economy. This is why we increase the resilience of your energy supply. This is why we will continue training and equipping your troops. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission.
Another key topic at the forum was Ukraine's future in the European Union. Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda proposed setting a concrete date for Ukraine's accession to the EU.
We, as Europeans, must take responsibility without delay because Europe's security depends on Ukraine's security. That is why we must accelerate Ukraine's path to the EU. I propose a date, January 1st, 2030. The first accession negotiations could start within weeks. Let's make Ukraine's EU membership irreversible. Gitanas Nausėda, President of Lithuania.
Ukraine's path to peace was another major discussion point. In a video address, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan stated that by next year the world should be marking the anniversary of peace, not war. He also reiterated Ankara's opposition to Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine and affirmed Turkey's continued support for Kyiv.
We remain steadfast in our support for Ukraine's territorial integrity, sovereignty, and independence. I say this with absolute sincerity. It is our shared responsibility to ensure that next year we commemorate the anniversary of peace. As Turkey, we will continue making every effort to achieve a just and lasting peace. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, President of the Republic of Turkey.
President Volodymyr Zelensky aims to end Russian aggression this year. However, he stressed that trust in Moscow remains non-existent.
Ending the war must start with steps that restore trust in the process itself, because right now, there is no trust in Russia. A first step could be the release of prisoners. Thousands of people who are being held in Russia. Some of them have been there not just since 2022, but since 2014. Russia must release Ukrainians. Ukraine is ready for an all-for-all exchange, which would be a fair solution.
International leaders share this lack of trust in Moscow. President of Finland, Alexander Stubb, explained that the current phase is a pre-negotiation stage, where the world must keep pressuring Russia while providing full support to Ukraine. Reported by Serhiy Kulyas, Mykita Skoblikov, UATV News.